Hi everyone. Let's see. I wasn't here Friday. What happened was last Monday I made a video in which you could really see my symptoms. There are times every month, and I don't know. I think it's a monthly thing that happens with, well, it used to be a monthly thing. I'm going through menopause now. I started the year with my cycle being 3 weeks late. So I'm like, okay, we're almost done with this period thing and I can get on to menopause. I've already gained the belly fat and sworn off men and kind of have laid back being a hermit. My cycle was 26 days, like clockwork, always 2 days early. But I would keep track of my cycles, and then I could know what I was experiencing when I was experiencing it. The video I made on Monday, you could see my symptoms. I couldn't speak. So the video I made on Wednesday, I was really trying hard to enunciate very clearly and try to, it was just, it was really difficult for me to talk last week. And then Thursday I got my cycle, which was almost a week early. So I just don't know when it's going to happen. That's just part of, it's part of going through the walking through the ashes and fire of menopause. And so, but I'm leaving the videos up. Once I start bleeding, then there is maybe a return to my ability to speak. I think on the Wednesday video, I saw the Monday video and I kind of said, okay, you're doing that thing, Misty, where you can't talk. And then I started talking about dropping knives on my toe. I dropped things right before my cycle. I don't know if everybody else does this. Maybe it's just me. But I do have some pretty severe disorientation, debilitating disorientation in my cycles. I don't know. Maybe it'll never end. Maybe I'll be the one woman that bleeds for the rest of her life. Today we're talking about Andrew Wilson. That's what I decided. I saw the trigonometry episode, and I really like trigonometry. They don't really have a debate channel. Sometimes they debate, but usually it's a civil, nice discussion. I like those two young boys. But Andrew Wilson is on there, and Andrew Wilson is always a cock. I do enjoy debate. I like to watch debates. I like Jake the Snake, Rattlesnake TV. His channel is palatable. Rather than watching like Andrew's channel, The Crucible, watching him spend an hour with that Shapiro guy. Jake the Snake will just take out the highlights so you can see the good parts of the argument. And he has a variety of sources, so it's more than just one person. But anyway, I saw Andrew Wilson on there. Andrew Wilson has a course on how to win debates, how to have discussions, and I'm sure it's a very nice course. But I think there's a way to win against Andrew Wilson that nobody's trying, and I'm not sure why. A lot of times he's debating liberal, secular atheists, younger than him a lot of times. And he has a system for how to win in an argument or a debate with these types of people. He really likes to pick on the girls, like the OnlyFans girls from the whatever podcast. That's some of his favorite targets and victims. Nobody knows how to argue with him. And I think that they're not doing... There's a couple of things that they're not willing to do. And I don't know if it's out of politeness or what, but if I was arguing with him, maybe I will one day argue with him. Because I do disagree with him. Should Christians be in charge of everything? Well, yeah, in charge of what? The thumbnail said, should Christians be in charge? And I think I mentioned it earlier that we are currently in a holy war, and that although I'm an atheist, I am an American. I hope we win. I think it's the Christians and the Jews versus the Muslims. That's what makes it a holy war. And yeah, I'm 100% behind this war. I don't think you could... I think an Islamic theocracy should be illegal just because of all the human rights violations under an Islamic theocracy like that. Let me grab my drink. I'm happy to live in a Christian country. But I refuse to buy into the religion. The Christians have been in charge of Western civilization for 2,000 years. And the Christians being in charge has gotten us here. It's following its logical conclusion. When you have a powerful patriarchy set up, and it became very powerful. You couldn't be a king without being anointed by the Catholics for quite a while. I know that Andrew Wilson is an Orthodox, so that separates him from the papacy, which good for him. I think that what they're not doing, these atheists are not attacking his... In order to beat him on these arguments, all of them are... they have to do with... a lot of them are feminists, and a lot of them are atheists. And so he always has the moral high ground against these people, because the feminists obviously have... I can't say enough how much I'm not a feminist. I'm behind the patriarchy. You can see that I'm... there's certain times of the month I can't have a full-time job. There's times when I'm vulnerable. I have trouble speaking. I'm clumsy. I have some disabilities that are connected to my femininity. I don't think women should work, and I don't work, and I'm not going to work. I'm not looking for a job. This is my job, and I can barely do that 3 times a week. I think I might have to scale it back to 2 days a week, but maybe sometimes I'll do a Friday episode. But I did want to record something for Monday, and I think that the issue of Andrew Wilson needs to be talked about a little bit. He has this one line and this one question that I'm tired of hearing from him, because it makes no sense and proves nothing. except for his own moral superiority. And that is, he likes to ask his opponent where they get their morals from. Who gives a shit where somebody gets their morals from? It proves absolutely nothing, but he uses that on almost the last month. I think every time I see him, he has this where do you get your morals from question, and he thinks it's a mic drop, but it proves nothing except for that he's morally superior to whoever he's arguing with. So the only way to beat him, and I have plenty of videos on my channel that will give you some fuel to poke holes in Christianity. One thing is the misogyny that's inherent in the Bible that he can't get away from. Now, I'm sure his wife, Rachel, she seems very smart, really sweet. I'm sure he's a good husband to her. I don't doubt that. But that's the one woman that he's picked out. And all of the rest of the women are whores. They're dumb. They're stupid. And I think that the misogyny in the Bible might be part of what helps Christian men to be faithful to their wives. Just making sure that all other women except for your spouse is an idiot, is a moron, is a whore. Okay? So that's the premise that and it drives him to the whatever podcast. It's a driving force to just dominate these women and display for everyone how they are less than you. That's all over in the Bible. I think the Bible is evil because it lies and because of what they've taken away from women. I don't want to. Sometimes I reiterate my stuff on here, maybe more than I should, but they took away the creation of the species, and then they put their obsession with young, pretty girls into describing Mary as a virgin, which any rational person knows that that's a lie. And when you put a religious book out there that has lies in it, that it makes the elite leaders of our politics, it makes them lie, because Jesus had gotten away with it. I just looked up, Jesus was on the cross for 6 hours. Did you know that? He was on the cross from about 9 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He wasn't dead when they pulled him off the cross. You know, that doesn't make any sense. You know, and what's sad for Jesus is that he, of course, would have been buried in an unmarked grave, you know, just so that they can tell this story that he floated up to heaven. But there's, I mean, I would say there's millions of Christians who know that this shit isn't true, but they're just doing the thing that their family expects of them and going to church or to mass, and maybe they're networking. A lot of people go to church to look for jobs, you know, start to shake hands and get to know some of their neighbors and things like that. And I think that the communion of church is a good thing. There's a lot of things about Christianity that I like, and if I didn't like it, I wouldn't be talking about it all the time. I do talk about it all the time because I am fascinated with it. I just know what's bullshit and what's not. And when you are debating with somebody like Andrew Wilson, who is going to use his perceived moral superiority to win a debate with you, I think what you need to do is just start hammering him with the obvious falsehoods that are written in the Bible. Crowder does the same thing. Of course, we know what happened with him and his wife, and he's divorced now. He's got a girlfriend. I would venture to guess that they're probably having premarital sex with each other. Fine. But he likes to take the moral high ground also, and make fun of, he does a lot of laughing at women and about how he talks about his Christianity, but his Christianity lends to his misogyny and his. I watch him every day. Where's my thing at? See this. That'll prove. See, I've bought his merch, but this is proof that I've bought his merch. I don't have Rumble, but I bought his merch. I support him and I watch him frequently. But I'm aware of the fact that he's a misogynist. He hates women. But that doesn't take away from being funny and entertaining. And he has some good solutions to certain problems. I like his voting idea. I support his voting idea. If you don't want to take away votes from women, just put one vote per household. I think that's fair. That's a good idea. Just because a man hates my gender, it doesn't mean that he doesn't have good ideas. This is what Trump derangement syndrome does. Like, you hate the guy so much that when he has a good idea, you can't acknowledge it. I don't like to do that with people. And I like Andrew Wilson too. But I know that a lot of the misogyny that they display frequently comes from that Bible. So if you are in a debate with Andrew Wilson, just I don't know, try to poke some holes in the morality of his own. I think he does have some ambitions to be like a guru. Like maybe he has some. I mean, I don't know what they call someone higher up in an Orthodox church. They don't have a pope or anything like that. But when I see him repeat that line, that tells me that, he thinks he's really got a gem there with, where do you get your morality from? He thinks he's got a gem there, so he's repeating it to the masses on everyone. But that doesn't matter. As long as you have morality, it doesn't matter where it comes from. It really doesn't, and it's not a win of any sort of argument. So another thing that I wanted to say before I close up here, don't tell him that you're an atheist. Tell him that you're Gnostic. And look into Gnosticism a little bit if you have the time. There's some great stories about Sophia. And it does say that the Bible is lying, which kind of, maybe I should start calling myself a Gnostic rather than calling myself an atheist. I am spiritual. I do believe in God. I just know that they're lying in that book. And when you get too hung up on the Bible like that, the bad things that are in there, I'm not saying that women are better than men, and I like the patriarchy. I'm not saying that we shouldn't submit to men. I think that's probably part of the, it's like bleeding. It's like one of the things that we have to do as women, and I'm okay with that. But it does, when you put men in the position of power, like when you watched Steven Crowder's video of the way he was talking to his wife, the mother of his children, um, um, it's not that's not how you treat somebody that you love, somebody that you're committed to. That's a man on a power trip. And some of that is born of some of the misinformation and disinformation and blatant lies that are in the text, in the word of the Bible. So that's what I have for you. Good luck if you're arguing with him. Share this video with him, and maybe I'll argue with him someday. That would be very entertaining. I don't think he recognizes. I don't think he recognizes that he looks a little bit silly when he's kind of repeating a tagline to win arguments when it doesn't win you the argument, and it doesn't make you look morally superior. It makes you look kind of like you're grasping at straws. So good luck, and bye for now. I'll be back Wednesday. We don't know about Friday, so take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.